Hey, it's Rachel Cooke, your modern mentor. I'm the founder of Lead Above Noise, a firm specializing in helping teams and organizations optimize their workplace experience. Right now, I'm spending a lot of my time running cohorts of new leaders through my Simple Group Coaching program. One of my favorite things about this program is how much insight it gives me into what's really top of mind for new leaders, which helps me keep our conversations super relevant. One theme that's been coming up a lot lately is disappointment. Like leaders seeing team members continuously drop the ball, or leaders giving team members a shot to do a thing and the thing belly flops, or leaders giving feedback to team members whose behaviors just aren't changing. All of these situations, and many more, can trigger real feelings of frustration and disappointment, and leaders naturally are looking for guidance on how to turn things around. While they're often looking to me for help on fixing their teams, my advice, which they usually hate until they give it a try, is to do a bit of reflecting on what may be going on here. Because so often, when leaders, yes, me included, are disappointed by someone else, the truth is that that leader played a role in that not-so-hot outcome. And our job is to figure out what went wrong so we can change the outcome next time. Here are some of the questions I urge leaders to think about when a team member keeps doing a thing that needs to be undone or redone. The first is, were my expectations really clear? Last week, after peeking into my teenage daughter's room and seeing a full 5-alarm disaster scene, I told her she needed to clean it up, like now, and I'd hold her phone for collateral until it was done. An hour later, sweaty but proud, she came downstairs to declare victory. After a quick peek at a room whose floor I could actually see, I returned the phone. Later that day, I went to grab something from her closet and, well, you can only imagine the avalanche. I was so mad. I felt like she'd duped me. But when I confronted her, it was clear that that wasn't her intent. She had seen me react to the state of her floor, and so she assumed that by clean your room, what I'd meant was make things not be all over the floor. Now, you can make any assumptions you'd like about my parenting, but I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt here. Clean really is a subjective word, especially when one of those interpreting it is only 13. This same dynamic plays out in the workplace all the time. A leader tells an employee to write up a report or create a presentation or develop a pitch or build a model, but without specifics around length or quality or completeness or content. It's so easy for the leader to imagine one outcome and the employee to assume another. So next time you've asked for a thing, like thing A, but what you end up receiving is a very disappointing thing F, start by asking yourself, were you crystal clear in what you asked for? And how can you refine your ask next time to ensure greater alignment at the start? The next question is, were my expectations reasonable for this person? Because being clear about the outcome is one thing. Being sure this person is able to deliver that outcome is another. And that answer is so specific to the person. In my situation, you might be thinking, yeah, of course a 13-year-old is capable of cleaning her room. And for some, that is absolutely true. But mine has some neurodiversity stuff going on, and in hindsight, it was a really big and daunting task for her. My kid needs smaller chunks, like put away 4 shirts or throw out any garbage, to help her process and organize. At work, your team member may not have access to all the tools or data they need, or they may be missing some context that you haven't shared, or they may be new to the company and they don't know your norms or language yet. Or they may be super creative and you've assigned them a really analytical project. Did you provide a reasonable timeline? Reasonable is relative, and part of being a leader is knowing your people and their strengths and their limits and leaning into them accordingly. The next question is, did I offer the right support? Clear expectations plus right person is a recipe for success. But even when you get those things right, things can still go off the rails at any time. Along the way, we hit roadblocks. We have questions. We need permission or air cover or support. And sometimes we just need to check in and confirm we're on the right path. And course correcting while something is still only 20% baked is so much easier than getting to the finish line and learning the whole thing is just wrong. Really reflecting on how available you were, how open you were to questions, how responsive to requests you were. how willing you were to coach and offer feedback along the way, all of these played a role in whatever the outcome was. So consider for next time where you might have room to be more present and supportive along the way, rather than just being the judge waiting at the finish line. And finally, ask yourself, did I articulate a clear why? Sometimes we can get all the things right person, well supported, clear expectations, but still, the end result just falls flat. And this can happen for so many reasons, but commonly when we've neglected to help them understand the outcome's purpose, like why this thing really matters and to whom. A friend was recently asked to put together a presentation of the work their team had done in recent months. Assuming this was going to be presented to executive leadership, they were sure to use lots of lingo and pulled in plenty of data and detail, designed to impress. Turns out, their boss actually needed the presentation for a recruiting event that the boss was planning to attend, which means all of it, the tone, the level of detail, it was wrong, and they had to start again. When we understand the purpose of something we're being asked to do, we can just use better judgment to make the right choices that will serve the quality of the outcome. So next time you're feeling down on your team for something they've missed the mark on, give some thought to how you might have played a role in that miss, and what can you do differently next time. Join me next week for another great episode. Until then, visit my website at leadabovenoise.com if your organization is looking to dial up its workplace experience. You can follow Modern Mentor on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Find and follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for listening and have a successful week. Modern Mentor is a quick and dirty tips podcast. It's audio engineered by Dan Farabend with script editing by Adam Cecil. Our podcast and advertising operations specialist is Morgan Christensen. Our digital operations specialist is Holly Hutchings. Our marketing and publicity associate is Davina Tomlin, and our intern is Cameron Lacey.